Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. The uses to which helicopters can be put seem endless. Their ability to hover gives them capabilities fixed-wing aircraft don't have, perhaps except for military aircraft that can hover like the Harrier, F-35 Lightning and V-22 Osprey. We have posted videos on the uses of helicopters in previous talks, such as Brian Molan's Confessions of a Helicopter Pilot in Australia.
There are many definitions of helicopters and choppers, and this is one of them. Thousands of parts flying in close formation around an oil leak waiting for metal fatigue to set in. And I know you plank wing pilots will appreciate that. I must qualify my talk because I have to admit that the older I get, the better I used to fly.
And helicopter pilot acts when wheel falls off.
If I was harsh to the fixed wing fraternity last time, this slide attempts to make amends. Airplanes fly because they are sleek aerodynamic work art. Helicopters fly because they're so damned ugly the ground pushes them away.
Yep. Then there are the precautionary tales, helicopter accidents that are due to mast bump. Helicopters are technically complex machines. There can be no doubt about their usefulness. That does demand piloting that is quite different to that of fixed-wing aircraft. Recently, we lost two good friends in a Robinson R-22 Beta crash. This helicopter was cruising at 1,700 feet AGL when it ascended 100 feet abruptly, followed by a rapid descent of 100 feet per second. This indicates a negative G pushover, notorious for inducing a rotor bump. And helicopter aerial mustering can be dangerous. Also, Wayne Parsons telling us about piloting Hueys in Vietnam.
A magic aircraft. Absolutely magic. The Air Marshals didn't understand the Huey and its capability. Now it's not his turn. On the way to the grid reference given, 607929, I had to think, how the hell did that helicopter get shot down and how can I avoid it? And I determined that if I could nestle the helicopter in the top of a big bushy tree, hopefully there would be one in the vicinity that they could get to the winch going down the cable, I'd be pretty right, because I'd be invisible to those on the ground. We came into the top and as luck would have it, a big, bushy, primary jungle tree was there. And I nestled the helicopter down in the top branches of this tree, hiding amongst the foliage. Now, my hover reference was a branch out here. And a bit further ahead than that. But there we sat. And down went the cable, and meanwhile, as we approached, we could hear the gunfire intensity on the ground increasing. Bloody crescendo. Because the Viet Cong knew that to get a chopper was a prize. Temporal distortion just takes over. Time just slows down. And the bullets going by us, everything just slows down. The picture of the windscreen going in front of my eyes, just, you don't think about it. Just concentrate on the job, maintain a steady hover, and hope to goodness when we retrieve the litter with the patient, the litter doesn't snag in the trees.
Helicopters do play a huge role in outback Australia. They serve offshore oil rigs transporting men and supplies. And in search and rescue missions, they are invaluable, such as winching out injured people from gorges and inaccessible sites. They are used in medical evacuations and ambulance retrieval where fixed-wing aircraft can't land, such as during flooding events.
What I love about the job is you don't know what you're going to do next. It's an all-hazards response helicopter. My name's Michael Perrin. I'm one of the pilots, the base manager and a line training captain of the service. I've been here for 16 years. I always wanted to be a rescue helicopter pilot. I was able to position myself into this role here. It is unbelievable when you think about the number of jobs we've got to, 9,000 jobs. Every one of those jobs would have touched on somebody's life somehow or another. Somebody who recently came into work on this base said it's like a family, and that is the bond you develop. We eat meals together, we laugh together, we socialise together. That's part of the way of coping. We could be out there helping with a motor vehicle accident heading off the coast, response to an EPIRB going off somewhere, or an aircraft accident, helping the police look for missing people. We've got to respond sometimes to floods, as we did last year up at Carnarvon, cyclone tragedies, as we did at Geraldton. And so this helicopter comes out and saves you, whether you be in a boat, in the water, on a cliff, in a motor vehicle accident. It's a free service to the community.
Then there is law enforcement, surveillance and border patrol. Helicopters can carry out firefighting duties as well as carrying out controlled burns in inaccessible bush.
The equipment we use for aerial burning is two types. One's an incendiary machine which dispenses capsules, small capsules at predetermined intervals down onto the forest floor, and as a chemical reaction takes place which ignites the capsule. The other device that we use is a heli-torch, which is an underslung machine under a helicopter which dispenses jellified petrol. Resources available in WA include 2 helicopters which are on contract, plus another 4 helicopters which are configured for ad hoc operations when we get very busy. We also have 2 fixed-wing aircraft that are used for aerial burning, and 2 other aircraft that we have configured, again, for our busy times. And they're based in the Kimberley and in the southwest. On average, there's around 40 aircraft burns conducted across the state, and around 5 to 6 million hectares of land are burnt within them areas.
Aerial burning isn't a technique that's unique to Western Australia, but much of the research was developed in Western Australia during the late 60s and further in the 1970s. It's a technique that was developed in consultation with CSIRO and the department at the time, and it continues today.
Australia has ongoing problems with feral animals. Feral populations of camels, buffalo and pigs degrade land and waterways. Selective culling of these wild populations is made possible by the use of helicopters. Australian cattle on pastoral properties are free from the once endemic tuberculosis and brucellosis diseases due to programs that ran from 1973 to 1997 using helicopters. Then there are those brave pilots relocating troublesome crocodiles or gathering their eggs, not for the faint-hearted.
When the cattle cross the river here all the time, the whole crocodile's dying out on them.
Milton's setting traps along the river to keep the waters round the station safe. Milton's decided to take the teenagers to check the croc traps he set earlier.
We'll poke down there and have a look.
If he snared a rogue, the kids will have to jump out and help Dad get it home.
Teach them a few skills when they're young and they're half safe anyway. Never know what could happen in the bush. We'll look down into the water, we might be able to see.
It's Alex's first croc hunt, and it's safe to say she's worried.
I don't really want to catch crocodiles.
Nothing. Must be that way, I reckon.
Looks like Bo and Alex are off the hook.
I don't know what it is I can see, but we'll get up a bit closer.
Uh-oh, spoke too soon.
Looks like we got one that's up here now. We'll go down and have a look at it. You ready to go for a run or what?
Probably not a good idea.
They're probably the worst crocodiles anywhere in the world, I'd say. Well, they'll eat you. You can't get much more dangerous than that.
Milton's trapped a 4-metre croc.
Be careful.
Now Bo and Alex have to help him get it home.
Chuck the crocodile on the litter and jockey strap it down and bring it home. Feel the weight and just ease back nice and steady, and you try and jerk it and pull it around a bit, you'll have a mistake, and we don't want that. They're usually fatal in the helicopter.
More peaceful uses include taking tourists to hard-to-reach scenic attractions, giving them a unique view. Kakadu National Park, Lake Argyle and the Bungle Bungles, for instance. However, nothing beats a helicopter for mustering. Flown well, these aerial gymnastics are exciting to watch. The aerial mastery is stunning as one or more helicopters dance above cattle or horses, directing these animals towards the holding yards, working with stockmen and women on motorbikes, jeeps or on horseback to gather the herd. Thank you for watching. Comments always welcome. Please give us a tick by liking and subscribing.